Robert Plank Show, episode 171 Traffic and Leads, SEO, PPC, social media, landing pages, email autoresponder follow up sequences, and sales letters with Lindsey Anderson. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Robert Plank Show. We're here with Lindsey Anderson, and she's known as One Click Lindsey. She has had an entrepreneurial spirit from day one. She's the founder and CEO of TrafficandLeads.com, which is a firm that specializes in driving traffic and getting leads and nurturing leads to become lifelong clients. Lindsey has over 10 years of experience running a successful web development and online marketing company, and she's passionate about helping small business owners find their dreams by utilizing web technology. So, Lindsey, welcome to the show today.
Robert, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Heck yeah. So, traffic and leads, heard of it, I've done it, but what makes you in particular so special and unique when it comes to traffic and leads?
What an amazing question. Way to start off. Well, first off, so let me just give you a little bit of history. Back in the day, so I've been doing this for about 12 years now, working on the web, helping people get on the web. So I've been doing that for many, many years. Back in the day, I used to run just a web development business, and we were like every other guy on the street, right? Like you and your dog's cousin does web design.
Oh,
So
yeah.
customers would come and go or whatnot, but the real thing was it doesn't matter if you have a website, right? It matters if you're getting traffic and leads. So the real power of web and marketing on the web is, first of all, getting seen, and whether that's going to be search engine optimization, pay-per-click, or social media advertising. That's the one way to drive the traffic. And then once they get to your website, Robert, you have got to capture their email address, right? You got to capture their email address and then write a wonderful autoresponder sequence in order to pull them in and select you as their vendor. And this can work across any kind of business. And so that's what makes us different, is we're quite excellent at driving traffic. Like some people need pay-per-click traffic. Other people need Facebook traffic. So we drive that traffic, we capture that email address, and then we nurture those clients through a autoresponder sequence.
Awesome. So you don't just leave people hanging. You don't just say, well, here's a Google ranking or here's some clicks off of Facebook. You say, well, that's only part of it. You're also going to get them some of that lead capture and some of that email follow-up too.
Yes, this is all about conversion rate, that very end result. I can give you an example if you'd like.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so we have a client. They are in a very competitive niche, the weight loss niche, but they have an excellent program where essentially you don't have to really you don't have to exercise so much and you don't have to count calories, but their whole thing is all about hormones and watching the foods you eat to basically regulate your hormones. Regardless of how amazing their program is, this is an incredibly competitive niche, right? Weight loss is all over the internet. So we had to come up with a very, very skillful campaign in order to draw customers into their packages. And so, just getting on Google is going to be nearly impossible. It's going to be real tricky. Facebook marketing is really tricky because Facebook doesn't even really allow you to use the word weight loss because Facebook wants to stay very up and up and not be spammy. And so we came up with an awesome Facebook campaign giving away an amazing free ebook telling people about the importance of hormones and weight loss and how you can achieve hormonal balance through what you eat. We gave that away. We sent them through a 12-step autoresponder sequence, inviting them to a webinar to find out more, inviting them to look at the program, giving them tons of amazing information on hormonal weight loss. Hopefully by the end of this 12-day email sequence, they have lost a few pounds based on the information we gave them, and then they're going to sign up for the program. And we were in charge of all of that. Most of the time, people may have gotten a web developer to actually develop the website and somebody else to write the autoresponder and somebody else to do this. But in this case, Robert, we were in charge of all of it, and we were able to track how many people actually signed up for that last piece, and we were on the hook for it.
Nice. And I like that you use that as the case study for a couple of reasons. One is that, I mean, weight loss is one of the, I mean, I'm not in that one, but it sounds like it's one of the toughest niches that are out there, not only because it's so restrictive and regulated, but it seems like it's so super crowded. And so it's cool that's the case study that you chose to talk about with us today, because it's just, even if someone isn't in that niche, I mean, it's like if you can make it work in weight loss, they can make it work in some other niche. And so, and the other thing that's cool about that you mentioned is that because you were able to be in charge of the whole process, that you were able to make it all match up. Is that right? Where
That
you,
is
you could
right.
have the ad, you could have landing page, you could have the follow-up, you could have the product, all just so you weren't trying to make someone else's system work. You were able to adjust things that needed adjusting.
Yes, and I have had clients. I have clients now, and I've had lots of clients in the past, Robert, where they're like, "Well, my, XYZ guy, he really is good at landing pages. So I just want you to run the Facebook ads and I want dude to run the landing pages." Well, guess what? Sure, that's easier for me, Robert, because then I'm not really in charge of the conversion and I can always, point my finger at, "Hey, the landing page isn't converting." And the landing page guy can point his finger at me and say, "Hey, the traffic you're sending from Facebook isn't qualified traffic." When we're in charge of the entire funnel, and I highly recommend maybe trying to find someone like that when you're trying to build your funnels, then that's the guy who's in charge of it all. There's like no pointing of fingers, and we can get our hands on all the analytics and actually figure out what isn't working. You probably noticed when I said we built that 12-step autoresponder sequence, one of the step was inviting them to a webinar. Well, Robert, one of the best ways to get Facebook traffic is through a free webinar offer. Guess what? Didn't work at all for this client. We tried a million different ads trying to invite people to this free webinar. For some reason, people are not interested in a hormone balance webinar from Facebook. But guess what? When we gave them that free ebook, they previewed it, and we sent them an email every day for 12 days, finally inviting them to a webinar. Tons of people showed up for that. So we never would have known that if we were just kind of like throwing Facebook traffic over the fence and saying a little prayer.
Right. And what I'm hearing from you also is that it sounds like if you were in that situation that you've been in before, where, you do part of it and someone else does some other part, and you have to wait on that other part to have other person to have that other piece done, it's almost like there's no time to course correct or to react, because
Yeah.
you have to wait on each other, and there's that delay in there.
Yeah, yeah. And there's just always that question of, well, what kind of traffic you sending me? Well, I don't know. What's your conversion rate on a landing page? Like, there's just always this big, whose real fault is it that this client isn't getting customers?
Well, you're each pointing the finger at each other, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Which in marketing is easy to do because nobody knows the answers. The answers change every day with every industry. So it's nice to kind of have that fallback, but we are willing and have shown success in being in charge of the entire thing.
now,
But we're happy to take little pieces too.
So
So
you'll take what you can get, but the optimal situation is if you get to be a control freak about it. So
there you go.
I mean, so can you walk me through about like this, like your thought process in this case study? Because I mean, as far as just at the very beginning, like trying to get Facebook traffic to go to some kind of landing page, I've had, I don't know, like sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's not, and I just had a lot of difficulty in selling any kind of like internet marketing stuff. And then I have a coaching client who is a doctor and sells things to doctors, and he runs up across the same things that you do with the weight loss, where like he kind of can't use certain words. So I mean, is there some kind of low hanging fruit there, or is there a secret to getting Facebook ads going to a landing page to convert? Is it a matter of like using a certain template or being vague with the language? I mean, what's the secret to Facebook traffic to a landing page?
So here is what I have experienced recently. And again, who knows, maybe 2 years from now, someone will be listening to this and call me a big fat liar because everything has changed. But I'll tell you what's working right now.
Okay.
What I find that's working right now is, it's funny that you say if you're super vague, is what we find that's working is something that is very, very specific. So in my Facebook ad, I might say something along the lines of, find out how I have trained 1,500 clients, because my client is actually a very big weight loss company, 15,000 people on how to lose weight just by regulating their hormones. And so I try to get real specific with that number. And I might have even said 15,481 people within the last 6 months. and basically give me 90 minutes and I will show you how, just how you can start doing this just within 1 week. So I have found that the more specific and enticing you can be, the better. This whole, hey, join me for a webinar on how to regulate your hormones, that's not going to pique anyone's interest. But oh, he's helped 15,481 people and I can do that in a week. I'm totally going to sign up for it. Now, there's a big question right now, Robert, on the difference between long form and a short form ad, and we've had very mixed results. Some of my clients, and I'll explain that to what that means to your audience. Essentially, a long form ad is on Facebook when you have to hit show more, and the ad just kind of goes on for multiple sentences and maybe even paragraphs, trying to explain what they're going to see when they get to their landing page. I've had a lot of luck with that. Actually, on this weight loss one, I believe the winner was a long form ad where I have another client. She is a business coach. We tried a long form ad with her. Nothing converted. She's trying to give away a copy of a recent book that she has written. We just did a short form ad. We said, hey, free audio book in celebration of my new book. Download it now. That's a short form ad copy. We sent them to a landing page. Basically, hey, if you want a copy of my free audio book, you can find out. Basically put your information in here. That one actually won over this long format of why they need to download her book and how awesome she is. So it just kind of depends. Long form, short form, there isn't an answer.
Well, but I mean, it sounds like I mean, there is an answer and yet there is, right? Because
Right.
there's no concrete answer, but the answer is try both. That's a good thing to be on the lookout for, and then one of those will do better than the other.
Yeah, and again, it does, and I kind of meandered past your original question, but the debates were last night, so I'm just practicing. Anyway, so on that business coaches one, we were again on the landing page extremely specific. We did say she has about 432 clients, so it's like find out how in the past 2 years I've had my 432 clients earn multiple six figures. Blah, 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 download my free ebook. So those are the things that we have found that entice people is when you get real micro specific on your ad.
And have you come across, so as along the lines of being specific and things like that, have you run into, especially with Facebook, any kind of difficulties with the rules, like with the income claims, or like you mentioned that you couldn't use the word weight loss? So I mean, how do you get around like that sort of issue where you can't the ads about weight loss, but Facebook won't even let you use the term weight loss? What's the answer there?
Copywriting magic. I'm trying to remember what the actual ad was. I wish I should have looked it up before we started this interview, but we were able to obviously work around it. You just got to use some mad copywriting skills.
So I mean, do you say things like burning fat or something like that instead?
Stuff like that, yeah. If Facebook lets you get away with that. Yeah, it's tricky. Facebook doesn't want to be spammy, but there's ways around it.
Okay, cool. So you try different things, or you use the copywriting magic to say it without saying it, and then as far as, so you have that ad, and then you send people over to a landing page, and so what does that landing page look like? The thing that gives away the free thing to people?
Yeah, so that one can also be a long form or short form ad. So we've had some success with the ones that we have success with webinars, like those have been literally next free training is tonight. Find out my magical system here, and then a sign up button. Pretty simple, straightforward. We can talk about, the magics of a landing page in a bit. But others have taken a long format. So for this specific weight loss client, we took them to a really long format that gives them a whole bunch more information. Like this thing, you're scrolling down, getting a ton of information, but we're constantly putting a call to action within every section. Sign up now, sign up now, sign up now. And again, so it just kind of depends on your niche. Now I can go into good landing page rules if you want me to. Is that kind of where you wanted to go? So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let me explain to your audience the difference between a landing page and a web page. So a web page is going to be that corporate website that you go to and it's home and about and contact us and all of our products and all this, and people can go there and find out everything about you. A landing page is going to be for very, very targeted traffic. So we've talked about on this interview, maybe sign up for a webinar, maybe sign up for a free ebook. When people go there, there is no menu. There is one call to action. I want, like, it is clear to the user, I want you to do this. There needs to be some beautiful imagery to get your point across and basically some statements to back up what you're trying to get them to do. But basically, there needs to be a big fat button and a form letting them enter in their email address or you telling them what to do.
Make it super obvious, right? A confused mind
Yes,
never buys.
that's right. And do not put any other menus on there or anything like that. Just make it really, really obvious.
Makes a lot of sense. And then so you have the ad, you have the landing page, someone signs up, and after they sign up, then what do they see?
Then you need to make sure that they are served an autoresponder sequence. So get yourself, if you don't know what that is, you can go to MailChimp and sign up for a $10 account, and they will is basically what an autoresponder sequence is you can time it. So after I get their name, then one day after I get their name, send this email, and then maybe 2 days after that email, send this email. So it basically will send automated emails for you. So within that autoresponder sequence, you need to make some magic happen. You need to send them testimonials in more of a storytelling way. You need to let them get to know you. You need to send them videos. You need to give them a ton of awesome value. And within there, you need to kind of sell your service in a very non-salesy way is how we've had a lot of success.
And so you've mentioned along the lines of the autoresponder sequence that you have a 12-step process. So is there any kind of like specific, is there like a method to the madness? Like when you have a certain client and you want to make those 12 emails, do you have something already figured out or some kind of template where you say like, I'm going to send them like a blog post first or videos first or the webinar, or how does that 12-step process come together for you?
Yes, we have. We actually have a 12-step process that every time we get a client and my copywriters sit down, they're basically following the step-by-step process. I don't I can find the document that lists it and we could go over it, but there is a method to it. We don't try to reinvent the wheel every time we sit down with a client, but it's essentially, step 1, introduce yourself. Step 2, in there's a testimonial. Step 3, invites them to your other social media platforms. If you're a podcast host, we invite them to listen to the podcast. So we're trying to infuse your celebrity within that 3rd email. The 4th email, we finally get around to an ask. The 5th email is one of my favorites, where we basically say, hey, I'm going to kind of break out of my, sequence here and ask you a favor. Is there something that you're really struggling with? I would really love it for you to reply to me and tell me what that is. And that's basically asking them to engage with you. That's a very, very important email. On my personal email sequence, which is basically 14 days to more traffic and leads to your website, which you can sign up for on my website, I get responses to that email all the time. And people are like, hey, you asked me to email you. Like, I've written them a personal email, and that's how you want your emails to feel. And this is what I'm really struggling with. And it's an excellent way to actually start that conversation with a potential client. So, and the steps go on. And that final email is, hey, thank you so much for hanging in there. Basically, I'm going to put you on my weekly email, because I always recommend don't let it stop after that 12 days, that you actually continue sending a weekly email, whether that's your latest blog post or whether that's your latest podcast or an article or anything. But I really recommend don't let your email list go cold, so that on that 12th day I say, hey, I'm going to be emailing you once a week. If you don't want that, click here and unsubscribe.
And lots of good stuff in there, and especially the part about well, first of all, telling them what to expect, right? Because it's really tempting to be lazy about it and say, well, here's my sequence. Now I'll just get them on this other list, and now they don't even know what they're getting. But just taking that second to say,
Yes.
here's the stuff that's coming up is just it seemed really, I don't know, like an unnecessary step for me, but when I started doing that, that was huge. And then a really good reminder of something that I used to do a lot, but I haven't done in a while, and I need to start doing it again. Is asking questions in the email, and I mean that's been so huge for me, especially too, Lindsay, for a bunch of reasons. Because I mean, most email marketers don't do it, so it kind of wakes them up. I like when they reply because then it adds me to their whitelist, and then I get more of like a pulse on the marketplace, right? Because if they're all using like certain language or they're all having the same objection, then I can kind of look at that and go back and think about, okay, well, what could I do to make this funnel and everything better?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're getting tons of feedback on the questions, maybe how to improve your own autoresponder sequence. And not only that, like I'm thinking back over my personal sequence, 14 days to more traffic and leads, and I'm thinking, which has anybody ever responded to that question that hasn't signed up for a 20-minute like phone call with me? Where if you can get someone on the phone, you can absolutely sell your service to them. So it's just like one way of getting even more trust from that person.
And so the whole point of having the email sequence and to build up the trust and to talk to them and get the two-way conversation and stuff like that is to then make some sales. So can you talk to us about making some sales?
Well, yeah, I mean, that one, that depends over what you're trying to sell. So for this particular weight loss thing, it's it's a SaaS program, and so it's a monthly membership to their website. So with that, you have to build a lot of trust. One of the kickers with that one was we offer 100%, 100% money back guarantee if you don't like that first 30 days, or you offer a discount, or definitely the scarcity thing comes into play a lot. Like we're only offering this till the end of the month. That or well, within X amount of hours after you hear this, like all those marketing 101 things that you learned back in college, they're still kind of tried and true today. We have found success with them. So,
Awesome. So yeah, so I mean, I'm hearing all kinds of areas that people should be focused on, not just in, here's this bright shiny object like social media. Here's this bright shiny object like an email follow-up sequence. What's cool about the way that you've laid it out here today is that there's a very clear set of things that people need to get set up one way or another, right? Whether they set it up themselves or they have you make the package for them.
exactly, and that's what we would do. Yeah, and I mean, I wish honestly, I'll be honest with you, Robert. This weekend, I had signed up for a webinar. It came across my Facebook, and it was like, learn how to add 1,000 people to your email list just within a day. And it was from this really notable guy that I had heard of. And like people were making comments, and it was like, this is legit. This is so awesome. And even me, like even I fell into that trap. I was like, I wonder what this guy has to say. So it's like Saturday afternoon. I send my family off to the zoo, and I'm like, I'm going to listen because this particular Facebook guy was like, I'm not even going to do a replay. Like, don't even think you can sign up for this and get a replay. Because I don't know about you, but when I sign up for webinars, I just assume there'll be a replay and I can listen to it while I work.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and I'm not even doing that because this is so freaking amazing. And so I listened, and guess what? It was just the same old thing. So my point being, Robert, is there is no magic bullet. You need to get out there. You need to get your face in front of people, and whether that's buying Facebook ads or getting up on the search engines or whatever that is, you need to get yourself out there. You need to start collecting email addresses, and you need to start emailing these people, and it will change your business. It's changed lots of my clients' businesses. It's changed my personal business. I used to not collect email addresses. I've been doing this for 12 years. Am I kicking myself for not collecting email addresses for 12 years? Absolutely. But this is stuff that works, and you just need to do it. There is no shortcut. Do not buy an email list. That's not going to build trust. Do not think spending $2,500 on a business coach is going to give you all the answers. It's not. Like, this is the path. It's not easy. It's not overnight, but it does work. So get to work.
The fundamentals. Cool. And so what I'm hearing from you, Lindsay, are a couple things. First of all, that there are there's a lot of like danger, so to speak, out there, right? Like there's so many ways to go wrong. There's so many ways to get distracted. So many ways to get lost down the rabbit hole. And then the other thing that I'm hearing a lot of is that, well, it's one thing to say, have a Facebook ad or have a Google ad or have a landing page. But if someone was going to go off in that direction, they'd say, well, great. Now I have to figure out, what kind of ad I'm going to set up, or now I have to, maybe find a course on Facebook ads. Or they say, well, now I have to make a landing page. Now I have to learn copywriting. Now I have to find these
Yeah.
different platforms and things like that. And so, what's cool about you and what you have set up is that you have this entire done-for-you service where, some people are worried that my worry is that not only do I not have the answers, but I'm not even asking the right questions, right? And so
Yeah.
a lot of times it's like, well, maybe I should just hand this off to someone who knows what they're doing, and then I can see what they did, and then now, I shortcut all that. Who knows how many years and years of trying things out, and on the internet things change so quickly, every 6 months or so, that somebody might go down that path, but then by the time they get a handle on one
Yeah.
piece of it, well, guess what? Now the Facebook rules change. There's a Google slab. There's who knows what's going on. So, so you have this service. So, can you tell us about the service and what it is that you do exactly?
Yeah. So again, like I would say the majority of clients don't want us in charge of their entire funnel because they have relationships with either Facebook people or they have relationships with whoever, copywriters, or they want to do their own copywriting, or they don't want to fork out the cash for us to do it all. Totally fine. So we have services where hey, I will just work on your landing page and you send traffic to that landing page and we will modify that landing page and monitor it till it's getting the 25 to 30% conversion rate you deserve. We will continue working on it. We'll even ask questions to your traffic team to see if that's what's happening. So we do have a service like that. But for the whole conversion funnel service, most people, obviously, to get like a nice working funnel is going to cost thousands of dollars. Like, don't turn off the radio now. That's just the way it is. But however, this business coaching client of mine, let me just tell you about her funnel. And guess what? She doesn't need us anymore. We set it up where you have Facebook ads and she can go turn those on and off. Every time she wants to spend $1,000 in a month on new leads, she goes and hits on this specific Facebook ad set that we set up for her. She goes and turns it on. People go download this ebook. People get her audio ebook and this 12-step email sequence, inviting them to a webinar. The webinar invites them to become part of her program at a discount rate. And every time that she needs new people in her coaching program, she gets phone calls because they are walked through this, all because she has hit go on this Facebook ad funnel that we set up. Now, I'm not saying that's going to change maybe 6 months from now if she goes and turns it on. The leads are going to get a little more expensive, maybe, because, audiences change and stuff like that. But for right now, she can pretty much count on $2 a lead on people coming into her funnel, which is pretty good for her specific industry. Now I'm lost on your on your question. Oh, my services. So we set that up for her. It's going to cost thousands of dollars. The good news is we offer it kind of building your online funnel month by month. So the price point to get started is $1,500. And that first month, we basically we go and find where your weaknesses are. If you need your Facebook kind of set up, then we'll do that for the first month. If you have some landing pages set up, we'll start sending some traffic over and seeing kind of where it's at. So essentially, for $1,500 a month, up front, we'll be like, this is what we're going to handle this month. This is where I see the holes. Then the second month, this is kind of what happened last month. This is where we're going this month. And then the next month and on and on and on. So by the time you're finally 6 months in, you have a fairly decent working funnel happening for you. So every client is different. And every client has different things set up. So we just kind of do this $1,500 a month. We go in and we tackle what we can for that.
Awesome. And people get results every step of the way, it sounds like. So where can and where should people go to claim the offer from you?
Yeah, so the best place to reach me is oneclicklindsey.com, oneclicklindsey.com. That's where I do all of my blogging. I have a cool webinar on there. Like if you don't feel like spending any money right now, but you're blogging, like you want to get noticed by Google, make sure you go to my free keywords webinar, which is on oneclicklindsey.com. Basically, I tell you how to make sure you're getting credit for all the awesome blogging that you're doing. I've had clients who have blogged for 8 years and got zero traffic, which is so sad. So that's where I do everything. My company is definitely trafficandleads.com, but start with oneclicklindsey.com.
Perfect. So oneclicklindsey.com. So thanks for stopping by the show, Lindsey, and telling us, so many amazing things. This was like 10 podcast interviews in one.
Sorry, yeah,
Uh,
and I talk really fast too.
that's perfectly fine. I do the same way. So you're speaking my language, and you know what?
Okay.
If somebody misses something, they can just go back and listen again. Or there's that setting on all those podcast players where they can slow you down a little bit if they want to make sure they can hang on to each and every word. So being fast and all that is not a problem at all. I think that a lot of people got a lot from this. So one click Lindsey, and thanks again, Lindsey, for stopping by the show and telling us about traffic, leads, and so much more.
Thanks, Robert. Have a great day.
To subscribe to the show and make sure you never miss another episode, go to robertplank.com/iTunes, click show in iTunes, and click the subscribe button on the left-hand side. And if you're happening to listen on some other non-iTunes device or on a tablet or a phone, just search whatever podcast directory you normally use for the term Robert Plank. That's ROBERT space PLANK. Click on the Robert Plank Show, click on subscribe. That way you always get notified of new episodes, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.